Hey guys, this is a video explaining how to do just the first page, so the club trip portion of the Intro to Sheets project. I'm going to make a video for every single tab of this project. So if you need the step-by-step guidance, you might end up watching every single video. But some of you, especially if you're familiar with Google Sheets or maybe Microsoft Excel, you will be able to skip over some of the videos. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up both my project and the directions in split screen. So in order to do that, I'm just going to take one of them and drag them off to the side. And then on your Chromebook, you should get the option of what do you want to open up on the other side. And I already have my directions ready to go. If you're in class, I'll have paper copies of the directions, so you can just have the project opened and then have the paper copy on your desks if that's what you want to do. So the first thing I need to do is format the title. So I'm going to select cell A1. In Google Sheets, we've got letters across the top. We've got numbers going up and down the side to indicate what we are looking at. So it looks like I already selected A1, but in order to do that, I'm just going to click on the cell once. Then I want to change the font, font size, and font color. You probably already know how to do that because you've done it in like a Google Doc before. That's just going to be up in your top toolbar. Since I opened this up in split screen, my toolbar was minimized a little bit, so right now I just see font. In order to get all the other things, you've got these three dots at the end that say more. And again, you may or may not have to go into the three dots to get your extra stuff. So I need to change the font. So open up font, pick whatever you want it to be. Then I need to change the font size. So right now it's at 11. Let's move it up to an 18. And then I need to change the color. So that's going to be this A with a black line under it. Click on that and then pick whatever color you want it to be. So that's my first step done. Next thing I need to do is format the names. So I'll select all the names. They're in cell A3 through A7. This is just the language that Google Sheets uses. That colon in the middle means through. So A3 through A7. And change the font settings so they stand out. So you could do this individually if you want to, but if you click on A3, keep clicking and drag your mouse down through A7, we can select multiple cells at one time. So that way I can pretty easily change the font settings in all 5 of those cells. It doesn't tell me what specifically I have to change. I just have to make them stand out. So I think to make them stand out, I'm going to make mine bold. Next thing we're going to do is to adjust the column title alignments. So we'll select all the column title cells. They're in A2 through D2. So in order to select them, I'll click on A2, keep my mouse clicked, and drag over to D2. Then on the toolbar under More, I'm going to select the horizontal alignment group and use the center command to align the column titles. So again, you may or may not have opened up that More tab already, but I think everyone will need to open it for this one. We'll select the horizontal alignment group. So that is this symbol right here. Again, you've probably seen that before, like in Google Docs. Click the arrow, and then we're going to want to center it. So center is in the middle. Next thing we have to do is wrap text if necessary. So maybe you have to do this, maybe you don't. It just kind of depends on how this sheet is looking on your Chromebook. But for me, see, I can't read all of the money raised heading. It kind of flows off onto the side. So that would be a circumstance where I need to wrap the text. Wrap text just means make it be on multiple lines so you can actually see all of it. So on the toolbar, if needed, you're going to click more. So I already clicked it last time, so it's already open for me. And then we're going to find this symbol that says text wrapping. Click the arrow, and then the middle one is going to be wrap text. And when I do that, it makes money raised completely visible. So again, you may or may not have to do that for some of your headings. Next thing I want to do is format the column titles. So I'm going to select all the column titles A2 through D2. So click on A2, drag over to D2, and make them stand out by changing the font settings. I think in order to make them stand out, I'm just going to make them bold. If you want to, maybe we could make the font bigger too. Next thing I need to do is to adjust each of the column widths. So there are a couple ways you could do this. I'm going to minimize my More toolbar so I can actually see the labels on my columns up here at the top. You can click on the side of a cell and just drag it over. So see how I have a bunch of extra space in my first A column? I could drag this over to get rid of some of that extra. Or if you double click like that, it will get rid of the extra space for you. So these columns don't have too much extra space. You can see money raised had a ton. And percent to gold doesn't have too much because when I double clicked, it didn't really do anything. But again, if one of my cells were way stretched out, if I double click up at the top here, it should bring it in for me. All right, so again, that one is just adjust your column list so you don't have a bunch of extra space. Next thing we need to do is format birth dates. So we're going to select the birth date data, which is in B3 through B7. So I'm going to click in B3 and I'm going to drag down to B7. Then on the toolbar, click on Format. So that's way up at the top. Then we're going to mouse over the word number to expand the toolbar. And we want this column to be in the form of a date. So in this big long list, I'm going to find where it says date. And I'll click on it. And then it converts all those numbers to dates for me. The next thing I need to do is format the other numbers. So we're going to update the money raised data to a currency format. And we're going to update the percent goal to a percent format. So it's going to be a very similar process. I'll highlight all of my money raised data. Then I'll go format, number, and find currency. And then for my percent goal, I'm going to select D3 through D7, go up to format, number, and that one we want a percent. Next thing I need to do is enter a new person, and we want to make their information match the formatting of the rest of our table. So we're just going to add Jason down at the bottom. If you want to, you can type in all his information and then go through the same steps that we already did. So for me, I would make his name bold. I would make sure his birth date was in a date format. I would make sure the money was in a currency format. I'm going to show you a little trick though. If you select a cell, you'll see this little box in the corner. If you click that box and drag it down, it will copy what you already have in that cell. And you can even do it for a whole range of cells. So I'm just going to take what we have for Lance, select all of his information, and drag this box in the corner down to copy what we have for Lance, because when it does that, it copies the format that we have for Lance too. So it will like make the name bold, it will automatically default our second column to a date, stuff like that. So now that I have the formatting done, I can just click in one of these boxes, and you'll have to double click in order to type in that box and type in Jason's information. So his name is Jason. His birthday is 12/2. Oh, I need to scroll over. 12/2/2004. So far he has raised $95. Notice if I just type 95 and then I click outside of that box, it should default to a currency format like that. And then his percentage raised so far is 38%. And last thing I want to do is hide the percent to goal, or hide the decimal point. So I'll select the percent to goal data that is in D3 through D8. Click on the toolbar and click on decrease decimal places. So that's going to be up in our main toolbar right there. It's the 0 with the arrow pointing to the left. So that will get rid of my decimal places, and it just rounds to the nearest percent. And that is the end of this video.